Over the last decade, I've seen product design as a design discipline just blow up. And I think that's pretty cool because, well, for one, I think a career in product design is pretty great. And second, I think the world needs more designers. But I think with all of the hype comes some confusion around what it really takes to become a product designer these days. So in today's video, I want to talk about it. By the way, hello, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Alexa. I'm a full-time product designer, part-time content creator, and here on YouTube, I make videos about design, careers in tech, and what it's like working remotely in San Diego, where I moved almost exactly 1 year ago. Cool, now that we're caught up there, it's time to get cozy, grab yourself a drink, and let's get into today's video. The first thing to get out of the way is that I think, for the most part, if you're learning design completely new, like you have no prior experience in design, getting into the field is just going to take some time. And that's okay. And I'm talking a lot more than just 3-6 months. Just because you don't need to know how to code to become a designer doesn't mean that there still aren't a lot of skills to develop, frameworks to study, and tools to master. Gaining that experience and then being able to show for it in a design portfolio is going to be critical for you to land a job. And I think more realistically, it will take somewhere between 2 to 4 years to get into the field. For example, I went to a traditional art and design school and graduated 4.5 years later with a BFA in graphic design. And even then, I was just getting started. If I bring myself back to those days, I had many classmates in my grade who were clearly so much better than me at design, and their work showed for it. I later learned a lot of them started practicing design way before I had, and then it all made sense as to why they seemed to be getting it quicker than I was. Look, even though we are all online now, I still believe this is a craft-based discipline, and it just takes time to practice the skills to become better at it. Which just goes to show you, you can't rush a good thing. So now you know one of the core ingredients to really getting into product design is time. What are some of the core skills you may want to develop to stand out? I think the first is setting yourself up with a good foundation for how to visually express your design ideas through learning the design principles. If you've never heard of these, I'll give you a quick overview. There are 12 basic principles of design, and they are contrast, balance, emphasis, proportion, hierarchy, repetition, rhythm, pattern, white space, movement, variety, and unity. And a good design system is based on all of these. Even if you don't want to get into design systems design, knowing the basics for how these principles work will help you better express your ideas at work, better provide your colleagues with good design feedback on their work, and tell a better visual story with your portfolio. And as you may have heard, having a strong design portfolio is critical to landing a job in product design. Another important skill to master these days to get into product design is learning the business value of design. Long gone are the days where product managers were the only ones doing business strategy. Today, product designers are product thinkers as well, and that's why it's in the title. That means learning how to understand patterns and data, calculating estimates like the total addressable market, and even including what the business impact may be in your product design projects on your portfolio. Good product design is good for the business because it's good for the people the business is serving, and being able to communicate this is a skill to master. If you're looking for some good resources to better develop these skills, I cannot recommend Designer Fund's resources enough. The first to check out is their Design for Business Impact case study library. Here you'll find videos and write-ups from designers teaching this at some of the best tech companies to work at as a designer. And the second is Designer Fund's Business Value Design Workshop, which I've taken before and I cannot recommend it enough. Links to both of these resources are in the description below. And the last skill I want to touch on, which I think ties the two together very nicely, is storytelling. Between understanding the business value of design and knowing how to express your ideas visually, telling good stories is an incredibly impactful skill as a designer. I recently learned about Dr. Jennifer Aaker, who is an American behavioral scientist, author, and professor at the Stanford Business School. Today, she's known as a leading expert on how purpose and meaning shape individual choices and how technology can positively impact well-being. So that's a mouthful, but in short, she's an expert on the impact of storytelling. Let me try to break down some of her work for you. Jennifer defines a story as a connected set of events with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's a journey that moves the listener so much so that by the end, they feel different. The result of a good story is persuasion and sometimes action. But how do we know stories are so important? Well, in one study she references, researchers asked students to create a 1-minute persuasive pitch for the rest of the students in their class. On average, students included 2.5 statistics in their pitches, and only 1 in 10 worked in a story. 10 minutes later, they were asked to pull out a sheet of paper and write down all of the ideas that they remembered. The result was only 5% actually cited any statistic and 63% remembered the story. Why? Well, because good stories are memorable, impactful, and personal, and therefore they make a big difference. How does this tie back into what it takes to become a product designer? Well, this skill of storytelling is an important one, and it's an important one because stories are how we understand people, and people are who we are designing products for. As you can see, stories are impactful in itself, but it can be even more impactful when they are turned into visualizations, and again, even more so when statistics are used alongside them. Okay, cool, that was a lot. My final thoughts, just to wrap up this video, are that yes, you do need to learn the tactical skills to become a product designer, like information architecture, UI design, prototyping, facilitation, and you're going to want to learn some user research skills, but some of the most important skills to have to become a product designer today are understand the foundation of design through knowing how to apply the design principles, understand and communicate the business impact of design, and become an expert storyteller. And most importantly, learning all of the skills to become a product designer does in fact take time. And if you truly want to be one and get paid well to do something you enjoy, then putting in all the effort will be worth it in the end. And that's that on that. If you need some inspiration for new projects to work on to keep practicing those skills, I do sell a PDF guide with some project prompts you could use to help you get started. And I also curate a list of free and low-cost resources you could use along your learning journey, which includes these resources I recommended from Designer Fund. And all of this will be linked below. Just remember, the world needs more designers, so whether you're learning design for a college program, a boot camp, on your own, or something in between, I hope you stick around to give it a good shot. If you have any thoughts or questions about today's video, drop me a note below and I'll try my best to get back to you. Again, my name is Alexa. I live, breathe, and deeply value design, and that's why I make videos here on YouTube about it. If this video was helpful for you, go ahead, give it a like, and if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to be a subscriber. If you're interested in connecting in between me making all these videos, I'm most active on Instagram, so go on over there, give me a follow, say hello. I talk about design things on that account, as well as life things, and really all of the things. I'm an open book. But that is going to be all for today's video, and I do hope to see you in that next one. All right, bye for now.